8 Kenyans, but give them their credit. Do you know that in Kenya, everybody is a constitutional lawyer? Do you know that in Kenya, everybody knows the constitution from beginning to the end? By the way, do you remember what happens when there is a presidential petition? Everybody to the deepest of the villages explains what happened during elections, explains what happens during voting, and how IBC violated various articles of the constitution and procedures. We listen to the cases alongside the judges and we pass the verdict. We only wait for the judges to give us their verdict and see whether it concurs with our decision. As concerning this issue of impeachment, every Kenyan from every corner of this country is discussing how the case is going to be. Majority are arguing, yes, the Senate is going to uphold the decision by the National Assembly. Others are arguing, oh, the Senate is the voice of reason, is going to change, is going to prove that they are the superior house, that they are going to be impartial, they are going to vote and favor Gachagua. Others are saying, oh, the president has already given his direction and the Senate will just follow the direction. Irrespective of whatever happens, these are things that, there are some things you need to note. First of all, there is always a tension between the National Assembly and the Senate on which is the upper house. The Senate prides itself as the house of reason. And depending on what happens during the National Assembly hearing, there are so many things that did not go well. So the Senate is supposed to correct those things. The amount of voting, the amount of discussion, the situation and the point at which the defendant was called in to give his views. Many people have argued that it was not the correct, and I also agree with some people that the manner in which the process was carried the National Assembly is not the best as prescribed the Constitution. It seemed that it favored the side of the proposer and did not give the defendant the best of hearing, especially the point at which the public participation came in. It came too early, before Gachagua and his team had been given time to say their side of the story. While Gachagua heralded severally, especially with the press conference and a lot. Anyway, he was judged before the case was even presented because he had already submitted his own evidence through the press conference. The Senate, having carried so many impeachment processes so far, especially 3 from Meru, and we already have another one that is starting for Kericho, the Senate has learned the lessons. And if you listen to them when they were setting timelines, they were referring to so much to the 3rd impeachment case from Meru that they were forced to hurry and do some things in not so correct manner. And therefore, they will be trying to put things in the best manner possible. So Senate is going to carry out the process without flaws. Remember, there were so many flaws in the National Assembly. But being their first time, probably they did their best. So Senate can go either way. Probably with the directions from higher offices, they might send Gachagua home. Again, if they give him hearing and they find that this case has not met the threshold, Gachagua might have a chance. But whichever the case, if Gachagua goes now, we will get into another constitutional dispensation that will focus a lot on President William Ruto. First of all, it is a requirement that the deputy president be vetted and verified by IBC. Currently, we don't have a functional IEBC. So what will the president do in case Gachagua goes? Will he be without the deputy? Is it constitutional to be without the deputy? Will he pass the deputy president? Will he nominate, have the president, the deputy president take office without vetting by the IBC? Will he use the few commissioners that are there to vet the deputy president nominee? Will he skip that point of appointing the vetting of the deputy president nominee? What is the way forward? Secondly, Gachagua has a case in court. Justice Lawrence Mugambi has already asked the CJ to appoint a 3-bench or a 3 to 7 bench jury to listen to this matter. So if the Senate passes that they have impeached Gachagua, will the seat be declared vacant, or are we going to wait for the court processes? Which way, Kenya? If Gachagua goes back, how is he going to work with the president? Well, he can be there. President Uhuru Kenyatta worked with William Ruto, never doing anything that he was meant to do. not given a lot of work that he is supposed to be given as the principal assistant to the president. Okay, we can run this period until the end just like that, without a functional deputy president, just somebody assisting to fill the gap. If Gachagua is impeached and a replacement is made, who is ready to take that replacement? Who will it be that will take over the remaining 2 years? And remember, if you are given that position of a deputy president at the moment, it does not mean that you'll be the running mate come 2027. That is not a guarantee. So, who is willing to take? And if you take, are you willing to relinquish that position for a new running mate in 2027? Or will you insist that I am the running mate come 2027? That is going to give William Ruto a headache. But, of course, we know he is heading to the Western Kenya in 2027. But in between here, this position was reserved for Mount Kenya. Will he return it to Mount Kenya? And if he returns it to Mount Kenya, come 2027, he has shown the tendencies of going to West Kenya. What will happen to the one who will have taken over from Gachagua? Anyway, all these are a matter of wait and see. Let's see what unfolds from the Senate.